Hello, it's me, Yorgi, the platypus. So cheesy. Sorry about that. I had to do it. There's a couple of people who know why. Anyway, got some new artwork here. My friend Mike did this for me. He's currently over in Vietnam right now, chilling out, making his own YouTube channel. Um, I've been doing my physical stuff with this channel. To put this down. Working on have it on the screen. Yeah, I'm working on. Put my rock and roll gear out. Yeah, I'm working on this channel for myself, first of all, telling you what I'm going through to let you know that other people have gone through this and you can do it. So I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. I know if you're watching this, you're probably an amputee patient or someone with a pretty serious injury in recovery. And that's how you happened upon me. And I'm trying to give you a little positivity, let you know, man, your life changed, but it ain't over, man. Mine isn't. I mean, I'm not saying I'm having fun, but I'm keeping busy, and and I do have fun. I mean, I've met some really cool people. Um, the Doug from Doug in Exile, I think is Doug to Naples is his name, and he reached out to me first, and he's just a really cool guy. I love his channel. I'm part of the Quad Club. And then the Officer Tatum reached out to me. A couple other guys too have reached out to me, and I really appreciate it because it means a lot to me. It's given me some motivation to do a little bit more. Because I just started doing this for my own sanity, all the stuff I was going through with this disability, which got denied, but it's all good. But one of the things I wanted to do with this channel is talk about the rock and roll days that, a lot of bands never made it, man, but they pumped out some great music. And I've got an album, well, actually, got three albums from different bands I've done, and they've never really seen the light of day, never been released. We were just too dysfunctional to get it done. We were more dysfunctional with Guns N' Roses, man, crying out loud. At least they got the record done. Um, my own band Riff Raff, we were supposed to open for them one night. It's not what this is about, but we used to play around, and the Obsessions was a pretty, club back in the day in the 80s and 90s in Jersey, probably earlier back than that. It had a reputation, and both good and bad. And we're my band Riff Raff. We're local. We're like 2 miles away, and so we could bring in a bunch of people on a Thursday night. So we used to play there a lot, and then when Guns N' Roses was supposed to play, this was before Appetite had been released. They're doing a little East Coast tour, and I forget what month it was, but I do remember it was a cold, rainy night because that came into play. And we're at the club and we're all set up. I don't know, you set up a back line, but the headlining act's not there. So the promoter, I forget his name. I remember a big guy, big bald guy, looked like real, Jersey with the gold chain and shit. Um, he was freaking. He was panicking about the band. So we ended up playing that night, a longer set. Because we're like, man, this band from California. And then only later when they, hit, I was like, dude, that was that band we were supposed to play with. But at least they got their album done. We never did. We were more dysfunctional than Guns N' Roses. That's not good. But there's a lot of bands that are like that. And so she's from the Jersey scene because for some reason Jersey had it going on for a while, and a lot of good bands came out of Jersey. They all said New York though. And that's what I wanted to do with this channel was to talk about some of the bands that I've worked with over the years. Like I did sound for Chevelle when they were just a club act. I doubt they remember me. This club called the Cove in New Jersey. It was just a little teeny, little room, but it had some history. It used to be a pretty cool jazz room. It was a bowling alley bar, which I miss bowling alley bars. They were fun. But that's what I wanted to just talk about. I used to run this recording studio, and 11 years I had all sorts of acts coming in and out of that place, and a couple famous acts. I remember my partner. I'm gonna use his nickname, Squiggy. He's played with some characters over the years. And I remember one time he warned me. He said, "Man, if anyone calls and they're famous, just be cool, man. Just don't be a jerk." Like, oh my god, You're famous, you're Mr. So and so, because it's it's embarrassing. I look, people have confused me with looking like Meatloaf. I mean, I've hooked up with chicks before because they really thought I was Meatloaf, and they were drunk as hell, but whatever. So the phone rings, and I hear this British accent. Hello, this is Steve. Is Squiggy there? I'm trying not to keep his name. Is Squiggy there? Says no, he's not here right now. Oh, right. You must be his the buddy is at the studio. Well, best to you, mate. I'll call him. Well, all right. So this British guy called, and I tell Dave was like, yeah, I gave his name up. It's like, yo, man, you got a phone call or some British guy. He's like, oh, that was Steve. I was like, yeah. He says that was Steve Howe from Yes. I was like, oh, that's cool. Um, I think the coolest person ever came in the studio by far had to have been Les Paul, the Les Paul, and I knew an audio engineer who worked for Les Paul, and he also worked for Jimmy Page. And Jimmy Page and Les Paul were really tight, and so somehow Les Paul had got my name and number because he knew I had an Ampex 16 track 2-inch machine that I was trying to get rid of, an old multi-track recorder. I mean, these were the old beasts, man. These studio guys listening to this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Institute of Audio Research over New York threw it out. My buddy gets word that it's on the curb, and security guards keeping an eye on it to him until the end of his shift. So you want to come get it? So we stole the truck and went into Manhattan and got this thing. And the studio is on the second floor of this in Caldwell, New Jersey. My studio is called the Soundcheck Studios, but in the past, it had been a recording studio for over 20 years. Originally, the Sanctuary was the name of it, owned by a bunch of pretty happening engineers, audio engineers, and used to work at a pretty happening studio in locally. I think it was called the House of Music, and I could be wrong on that. Anyway, that's where Meatloaf recorded the Bat Out of Hell album, and I used to work with those people. And one day, I'm in this room with them, and the woman whose husband owned this studio where they recorded the Meatloaf album, she comes, just looked and says, "Oh my God, I'll be right back." And she runs and gets a photo album that's got the old Polaroids in it, the old instant camera. Opens up the old photo album, and there's all these pictures. And there's Meatloaf, and he's got a leather jacket on, like I've got over there. And it was funny, and I did look a little bit like it. It's some age difference, but anyway, it was just fun. Some of the good times I had at the studio. Um, so I just that's what I'm doing with this channel, trying to have some fun because it's not all about your recovery and being disabled or life changes, because we're all going to go through life changes no matter what. But we all have to have fun too, man. And so I just wanted to talk about the studio and like the people that came in it. And Les Paul, he bought the Ampeg recorder from me, and we had to disassemble it to get it down. There was no way in hell. After bringing it up this flight of stairs, we weren't taking it down in one piece like that. It was pretty heavy. I think it was like 600-700 pounds. But only about 12 of the tracks worked too, man. It was a trip. I still have the 2-inch, Ampeg tape. But yeah, Les Paul, he was putting all his old recordings, all the 2-inch tape that he had. He was archiving it. This was back when like Pro Tools was new. I mean, a lot of you young audio, people in industry now, it's like, rather, it wasn't all like it is now. I mean, tape, ADATs, hard disk recording, and iPods came and went, but we still got podcasts. So, MP3, where everyone's like, "What the hell's this?" And now it's just, it is what it is. I mean, me coming from more of an analog background drives me nuts sometimes. I know what I want to do, but I can't do it. If anyone, has any tech ideas, please reach out. But I'm just trying to have fun with this, man, because I met a lot of cool people, and they had some cool stories, like Les Paul coming in or Steve Howe calling. And, I recorded some Greek guys with a big family, local family. They own the diner. Imagine that, Caldwell Diner. Gus and Stephen, I want to record this band with my sons. They all play bazooki. Greek music, and he was a great guy, man, Gus. And I'm talking to him, and he's very old school European. Stephen, this is what I want from you. I'm telling you, I want more reverb, reverb, much. I'm like, Gus, you're telling me you want like big, like Acropolis reverb, right? Like the Acropolis in Greece. How do you know the Acropolis? Yes, yes, yes. This is what I want. I want very big reverb like the Acropolis. Yes, 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 Stephen. Yes, this is what Gus wants. One of these guys that always talks of himself, and this is what this is what Gus wants. Yes. So I deliver. I give him the Bouzouki band, and his kids were really talented musicians, and it's really cool. Man, listen to this Greek music. I was blessed to work with all these different styles of music. It wasn't just all heavy metal and rock and roll. So Gus, I give him the CD. I walk up around the corner, order breakfast at the diner, hand him the CD. Here you go, Gus. Oh, very good, very. How much money? I'm gonna just listen to him. Let me know if you want, because I knew he was gonna. There was way too much Acropolis reverb on it. It was wet, man. It was the wettest damn mix you could. It was like ridiculous, but that's what he wanted, man. And the customer's always right. But then they'll blame you when it's not good. Um, so anyway, it was funny as hell. Gus comes back to me, and I could tell. He goes, Stephen, it is not that he. Gus normally does not say when he is wrong, but in this case, I was wrong. You were right. Too much Acropolis reverb. Can you make less Acropolis? I said, Gus, I already did, man. I already did. Because I would do, if I get it all up to do a mix, man, and I would do it the way the customer wanted, and then I would kind of do my own version of it. And a lot of times they hated it, and a lot of times they liked it. I guess that was one of the cool things about my studio, too, that set me apart from all the other rehearsal recording studios in Jersey, was that I gave free recordings to everyone, just room recordings. I didn't charge you for it. I might charge you $2 for the CD, maybe not. Bring your own is fine, but I just rolled everyone, a good stereo microphone. I used to have an RDAT, a D110, a Sony D110, and it was the first portable DAT recorder. Very gray market because it was analog to digital. It was very early in the digital game, and people were really worried that somehow, you were going to be doing digital to digital transfers and everything. So these ADATs or these RDATs, these little portable little recording units, um, they were expensive, and they were, the tapes were just these mini little teeny cassettes that sucked, and they never took off. Everyone thought that DAT, digital audio tape, was going to be the next best thing, and technology, just kind of skipped right over and went right to CD. And another thing, I can remember when you couldn't even burn a CD, man. Like, it was big time. If you had a quarter-inch master, a stereo master from the recording studio, and you could get cassette copies and you could get vinyl copies, but you couldn't make CD copies for shit, man. It was tough. It wasn't just like a standalone burner. And I remember I got a Tascam when they first came out. A long time ago, but yeah, I'm just doing this for a lot of reasons, but I'm doing this for anyone who's watching it, man. Because like you might be sitting in a wheelchair or in bed like I am, and just watching the time go by, man. I watch so much freaking YouTube and other stuff online. So I figured I may as well start making my own videos. But so I mean, I hope you enjoy what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be obnoxious or anything. Hope not. I'm not doing this for clicks. I'm not doing this for money or views. I haven't even like formally, with YouTube or anything. Like, I'm just having fun, man. I'm doing it for the person who's sitting there real thinking their life is over, and it's not, man. Leave it with this. I came up with one the other day, a video that I didn't record or didn't finish up with, but I came up with a cool one. It was like stumbling stones, are stepping blocks, man. You didn't just you learn from your mistakes and move on, man. And because if you get through it now, if something similar approaches down the line, you're gonna know how to deal with it. Anyway, I just ruined it, I think, for that cool rock and roll stuff with this. Anyway, hey, later.